The Edgbaston test between India and England ended with a win for England. They won by 7 wickets. But there was also another incident that happened aside of the test match that garnered a lot of attention, which was racism row at the Edgbaston cricket ground. Now, to talk about what exactly happened, what has been the fallout, the relations between two sets of fans, the Indian and English fans, I'm joined at the moment by Bharat Army fan Rishi Chabra and a Barmy Army supporter, Adam Taylor. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on the chat. Now, Rishi, I'm going to start with you. We've been talking about the incident that had happened at the Edgbaston cricket ground. Would you like to tell my listeners and viewers as to what the sequence of events really were?
Vika, unfortunate event that took place at the 5th test between India and England. At the Eric Kohli stand 22, where we had a lot of Bharat Army members, in that stand. And obviously, at a point of time when England were doing well in the test match, some of the English fans, they went out of control and started racially abusing the fans. They were not just the Bharat Army fans, but there were a lot of other Indian fans as well. And then obviously, receiving something like this at a cricket field, not expected from anyone. So then, the stewards were told that, okay, this is happening, and they were even pointed out that who the culprits were, who were the people who were actually, involved in that incident. But unfortunately, no action at the spot was taken. And obviously, we fans had to go through a lot of, emotional stress, because, this is not something that you expect on a cricket field. You go there to watch a cricket match, and then, being racially abused is never acceptable. So, yeah, I mean, that's how it was.
Adam, I believe these sort of incidents are becoming common by the day, and it must be very disturbing for someone like you who's been a part of the Barmy Army and talking about how to get rid of racism from the stands.
Well, yes. I mean, thank you for having me on. I think it's really important to have this conversation together and reflect on this, and it allows us to take actions. I think it is worth saying there were 150,000 spectators across the test match. It was sold out every day. It was a fantastic test match, as we know. And it's sad that a few individuals have kind of spoiled it. And some cricket fans have gone into the Hollies stand. It's a very raucous stand. It's where all the singing and the chanting, the Bharat Army go there. By and large, everybody had a great time together. There's a lot of singing and dancing and mixing of fans, which is really special. And I think England fans really, really enjoy that. It's a carnival of cricket and great stuff going on actually on the pitch. So it's a fantastic occasion, but some individuals have been, despicable, taken it too far. And, this is the fallout. And we've got to deal with that. We've got to have honest conversations. There's a lot going on here. The authorities have reacted to this. Warwickshire County Cricket Club have now got an inquiry going. They're meeting with stewards, and the police are involved, and they are talking about prosecutions by identifying those that are responsible for these incidents, which are so full of hate. And they will be then banned from cricket grounds across England, but they'll also face charges from the police. So the process, we've got to trust the process. But I do take the point that why was not something done more then? That's something that, we feel, I think all cricket supporters and England supporters are also, across the land are appalled. But, should this have been allowed to happen, and should it have been got to quicker? But I do think it's great that the authorities, the ECB, Warwick County Cricket and the police, they're all getting involved now, and they will stop this, because we can't have this happening again. There's much more cricket to come between these two great teams in the next time. So, but I just wanted to trust that those people responsible will be brought,
Adam, a similar situation, a similar racism incident happened when Indian team was touring Australia, and it happened with fast bowler Mohammad Siraj when he was abused by a section of fans in the Sydney crowd. What happened there was that the authorities immediately evicted the fans who were abusing. In this case, neither did the steward take any action, nor was the fan evicted. We don't know whether he was at the stand on the 5th day either. Should the authorities not have cracked down immediately? What stopped them? Do you think that the authorities are a little less serious when it happens between two groups of fans, and only if a player got involved, they would have, quickly taken action?
Yes, I could.
Yeah.
Yes, I could. Yeah. Yes, they should have. And actually, there is a mobile app which you can download and report antisocial behaviour. And there was an example of this whereby some fans reported it, and I think it was 3 fans were removed from the ground within 20 minutes of the complaint. So again, it could have happened, but it didn't happen in the circumstances that we were describing. So again, it could be made to work better, but I do think it's taken seriously, and we will stop this from happening in the future. I think everybody's agreed that must happen. So there are examples of it being stopped. You cited Australia. There's similar. England fans have been similarly had examples of that, and the England players in Australia. So it is a worldwide problem. But when we see it happening, we just have to stop it. It's as simple as that.
Rishi, while we all love watching cricket, sitting in the stands in England and in Australia, all of us have to admit that we have had different experience. And is it because of the cultural differences that they fail to understand us, or we fail to understand them, and thereby a dialogue between both parties is very, very necessary?
Dialogue is important, but Rika, I don't think so. It is acceptable to say that all the fans are the same. Like Adam said, there's a very small section of fans in the stands. You'll find them everywhere, all over the world, in every cricket stand. And I would actually agree with him. But then overall, the experience is very good. And I myself have been to so many cricket grounds in England, watching the 2017 Champions Trophy and the 2019 World Cup, and I had an amazing experience. And but then overall, like Adam said, it is the certain a few number of fans who can never get along with other fans as well, and they'll always be there to create rucks.
Adam, is there a way of identifying these fans? And it is not only that the cricket fans are affected, it's also football fans who face similar situation day in and day out. Is there not a way of identifying these characters and ensuring that they do not get access to these sports stadiums?
Yes, but I don't want to bring football as an example into it, because football is another great sport. Cricket is a much better sport, as we know. Cricket could deliver the 5 days of sporting a spectacle that you just can't. It's just incredible to watch and witness and follow. With Pant and Bumrah and Bairstow, it was fantastic. Football can't get anywhere near that, of course. But yes, what football does do, I think, is probably more mature in getting on top of these problems. It's been doing it for more years. So we probably can learn things from football about identifying and removing supporters who cross this line and make sure that they don't take part in our sport again. So there's probably some lessons there that we can take. But yeah, I'd much rather focus on the cricket.
Rishi, let me understand from you, what really was the trigger for these fans? Of course, the abuse, as we understand, started between lunch and tea, and just after the lunch, even it continued beyond the tea break until the end of the day's play. But which point, where was it that things went out of control?
Rika, if you personally ask me, I think, Eric Holly's stand 22 has always been very buzzing. And the fact that, there are so many fans in such big numbers, and then all of a sudden, India from a winning situation, they went on to, to a very bad situation in the test. That might have, excited the English fans. And obviously, with the alcohol that they've had, that might have, let them lose all control, and then whatever incident happened. So I think that might be one of the reasons. But, like I said, unfortunate incident, and it shouldn't have happened at the ground.
Adam, do you think alcohol is the problem? Is the root of all troubles in these grounds?
Yeah, what I would say here, because, again, it's a good talking point, is that we want to make sure that cricket fans can go into a ground and they can sit wherever they want. It's really important to protect that. It's not about having away stands for certain, for supporters. Cricket fans mix and they mingle and we share and we enjoy the sport together. So that we have to protect that. I think, as Rishi says, the Hollies is the second most raucous stand in England after the Western Terrace at Headingley. And the Barrett Army gather there, and it obviously is very good natured and great fun. But yes, alcohol as the day wears on, and Rishi's absolutely right. When the game started changing, it became a bit more animosity crept in, and the alcohol fuels it. There are restrictions in certain parts of the English test grounds, and it is the authorities look at that, making sure there's family areas, there's no drinking stands to protect the fans that don't want to be part of that kind of atmosphere. But so people have a choice. I think that's really important. But in the Hollies, things will go a little bit over the top. But for the most part, as we keep saying, it was a fantastic atmosphere. I had a lot of friends in there across the days who just said it was really, really great fun. And of course, there were rain breaks as well, as we know. But the party continued. So it's somehow we've got to find a line. But yeah, there are certain steps that the authorities can take. You could shut the bar if you think. But I think really what it's about is as soon as this really antisocial behaviour happens, the police use CCTV, like we described, learning from football perhaps, and stamp on it really quickly, or people start getting more used to using the app so that we can do it. Because no fans want to see this happening. It's really, we shouldn't be talking about this, should we? We should be talking about that magnificent test match that was broken all of the records and stuff.
Rishi, and it wasn't just the men, the women were also at the receiving end, I believe.
Yes, I mean, the entire group altogether were at the receiving end. And, it wasn't like the English fans or whoever the person or the group was involved were, targeting an individual, but the entire group. So, a lot of fans were at the receiving end at that day.
Mm-hmm. Adam, how do the two, fan group, the Barmy Army and the Bharat Army, go on from here? What are the kind of conversations that, should happen between the two?
Yes, I mean, the social media is a great mixing kind of melting pot now. And I follow the Bharat Army on Facebook and I follow the Barmy Army, and you'll see videos of the fans mixing and enjoying each other's company all the time. I'm sure that the people that lead the Barmy Army and the Bharat Army, the conversations are happening because it spoils our sport, and it's something that we keep saying we must tackle. But I think that I went to test matches last year when England were playing India, and we've got the guns coming. It's something that we should treasure. Two brilliant nations who love playing cricket. So I think the future can be bright. I think the future can be two great teams that are playing really good cricket. So there's lots to come and lots to enjoy. We just have to get these things sorted out so that no one experiences that. And I think England fans on social media, you can see it on Twitter, they're really, really so disappointed that we have to have this conversation. But have the conversation we must.
I'll have to ask you, Adam, given what happened in Yorkshire and the kind of perception crisis that there has been, do you think that the other clubs and even the fan community, they have taken a lesson from what has already happened in England?
Yes, so Azim Rafiq sort of cited a sort of dressing room culture where players made him uncomfortable over a number of years. So he cited Yorkshire Cricket Club, which is a matter of really sort of national importance to understand where our sporting cultures go wrong. So I think that was obviously very brave. It's kind of separate to the fan kind of issue that we're discussing, but of course it's part of the bigger picture about racism in society. And, the solutions are more localised, in terms of how the cricket clubs work with stands and fans. But then you do have, like you said, we do have the bigger problem, or a different sort of problem over here about how we ensure that the game is played by players respecting each other properly. I think, again, it's really good that conversation started and all cricket clubs woke up to, what's happening in our club? How long has this been going on? and the stuff. And so, again, it was a really good conversation to start, and I think lots of improvements will come out of that, so that in a few years' time, we'll be further down the line to eradicating this kind of prejudice.
Rishi, it's all good to make the conversations that we are making, make people more aware of where the ills lie. But, ultimately it comes down to action. Now, you have spoken to Anil, the person who sent out that tweet. Has he been assured a timeline for the action by the Warwickshire Cricket Club?
Well, I am being told that, yes, the club is taking some action. They've already, started the investigation. But on the timeline front, we don't have anything as such. But we've been assured that, as the entire group has been assured that, yes, some action will be taken, and they've already launched an investigation into the matter.
Adam, how important is having a timeline for all these investigations and assuring all the stakeholders? Fans are a very important stakeholder of the game, and assuring everyone that such incidents, people, in fact, who are in the receiving end, they do get some kind of justice.
Absolutely. The chief executive of Warwickshire Cricket Club, Stuart Kane, said that at the time they weren't sure, they couldn't identify those responsible, but they were working with police and CCTV that they will do that. So there's an investigation now going on. I don't know what the timeline is, but obviously the police are involved, Warwickshire Constabulary and Warwickshire Cricket Club are involved, and the ECB. So again, just have to trust the process that those people will be brought to justice, and they will suffer because they will not be able to do that again because they won't be welcome at cricket grounds. So let us hope that they can go through that investigation and identify those responsible.
And let us hope that fans of both the teams now get back to the cricket ground once again, because there is a long series that lie ahead of us, the 6-match white ball series, and there is good banter. There is bonhomie between two groups. And thank you very much, Adam and Rishi, for joining me on the chat.